What's up, YouTube? Just wanted to make a quick video on my I don't know what they really call these, walk behind trimmer, walk behind weed eater. I really don't know what they call it. In this video I'm just going to call it the walk behind weed eater. That's what I've always called it. So it does say weed trimmer on there, so I'm going to call it a weed eater, walk behind weed eater. Anyway, this particular weed eater I happened to pick up at the junkyard for $10, and didn't have any wheels on it, and it had an engine on it, but the engine was long gone, locked up, and missing a bunch of parts off of it and all of that. And just so happened, just before I got this though, I had bought that weed eater lawnmower right there for $10 also. It was all complete. The people I bought it from said it just wouldn't start, and just like 90% of those, what the issue was the carburetor was badly dirty. Also, it looked like somebody had been cutting the grass with the gas cap off of the gas, because the gas tank was full of dirt. And so, long story short, I had to put a different gas tank and clean the carburetor. And anyway, after I did that, it just started with one pull. Anyway, but I already had a push mower or self-propelled, and I didn't really need this one, and was thinking of either selling it or if I could possibly use it, because I did have a walk behind weed eater. You can see it in the background over there, black one. It's a Murray. I actually owned that one before I owned this one, and was trying to figure out how I could get it up and going, because on my property out here, I live in the country, so I have a lot of tall brush and grass and stuff like that, so one of these really comes in handy. And my self-propelled kind of does the job, but the issue we keep running into with it is the brush and stuff gets tangled up in the self-propelled axle, and so we're constantly having to dig all the grass and stuff out. And so anyway, not to mention the fact it just can't cut down the big tall stuff like this thing can. And so anyway, so I didn't make a video of the engine swap. I just feel like there's a lot of videos out there on YouTube to show you how to do the engine swap and the how-to and all that. But I did want to make this video to show y'all some of the modifications and changes that I had to make when I did this. And so here we go. One of the first things you'll notice over here is this right here. That's the engine brake for the engine. It goes up to this lever here, and anybody knows when you go to start a lawnmower, you have to squeeze that lever and pull the rope, and then after you're done cutting the grass, you just let go of the lever and it kills the motor. Well, this does have a lever, but this lever operates the cutting head. So and it's there's no way I could put two levers on there, just one. So I had to do away with it. And so it might bring you the question, might make you ask, well, how do you shut it off then? And so the next modification I had to make, it actually is two different modifications in one. It provided a way to shut the mower off, or I'm sorry, shut the weed eater off, but it also solved another issue. If anybody knows about lawnmower engines, it has a little plastic flap governor that just goes off of the wind blowing off of the flywheel, and I didn't know it worked in conjunction with the weight of the blade, the lawnmower blade, the metal blade spinning underneath. Because once I took that blade off, the metal blade, and put the pulley on that runs the belt on this, all it wanted to do was surge. It didn't want to maintain a certain RPM. And so what I had to do is I had to remove the governor and install a manual throttle, which is what this is right here. And So now when I go to shut it off, all I got to do is throttle it all the way down and it shuts off. So I don't have to worry about the engine brake or none of that. It shuts it off when I throttle it all the way down. And it works perfectly with the manual throttle and no governor. I just set the RPMs. I set the engine speed where I need it to. If I'm cutting big stuff, I set it up a little bit higher. If I'm cutting just some small stuff, then I can set the engine speed down a little bit lower. Anyway, it works perfectly. But you'll see, I'm not making this up. I mean, it says Weedeater right there on the top of the motor because it came off of that mower, and it's on this Craftsman weed trimmer. And anyway, if you guys have any questions or comments or anything like that, again, it works perfectly. No major issues. The throttle works perfectly now. It cuts. It maintains the speed. I don't know what else to say. If you guys have any questions or comments, just let me know. I don't know what else to say. Again, like I said, I just didn't record the swap because there's so many other videos out there, but just wanted to record and let y'all know the changes I had to make. Oh, there's another change right there, because usually, and when this was on the mower, the handle was actually up here on the pull string handle was up here on this, and since I had to put this manual throttle on there, I had to take that off, and so now the handle's just right there, which isn't nothing. I mean, it's still easy to start up. So anyway, there you go. Questions, comments, subscribe, let me know. All right, take care.